shall we make the pincushion? So let's just go on the overhead there. So I've already cut my bits and pieces out. So 2 little ears, and I did those in pink felt. And you have to excuse my instructions because I ran out of coloured ink. I've replaced them now, so my pattern instructions look a bit odd. Oh, I love the cushion looks nice. Yeah, I love the bobbles. Yeah, you've had a good use of those jeans. Yeah, not all of the jeans was used in that actually, Jackie. You'd be surprised. I seem to have a lot of denim hanging around. Then I've cut out 1 base, 1 head and 2 sides, so they're all ready to go, and I thought I'd show you them because I cut those out earlier today, so we got all the basics. So when you look at your pattern, everything is explained to you thoroughly there, and I'm sorry about the pinkness of my pattern. So you can see straight away that the first thing we're going to do is to stitch the side pieces together along the back, and if I bring that in, so there's the back. Oh, it says seam. It should be seam. I'll have to correct that. So we're going to stitch along there to join the 2 pieces together, and then I've got an ear placement cross here, and we'll put the ears on. We just need to make a little pleat in there, and that pleat faces forward, so the head's going to go here. So those pleats face forward. So we're going to kind of do all that. And then when you look at this, it gives you a little bit more of a clearer instruction on the pleats and how they look. And I would do what I always do, is to actually top stitch those just to hold them in place, so I don't have to worry about them on anymore. It says top stitch the ears in place. So that's what we're going to do straight away. So what I'll do is I'll bring my machine up. I'm still using my little 330 because it's not quite so heavy as the big one, although I struggled a bit there. I've got the other camera. Let's just get this needle back to the middle. There we go. So I've got the other camera set up so you can see what I'm doing. So let's just bring that in. So I've got my 2 sides here. And so I'm going to stitch. You'll note where the back is because the back is really curved here. Okay. And the head is going to go here. All right. So right sides together, and we're just going to stitch. So it's a 1/4 inch seam allowance. If I ever forget to tell you, it's always a 1/4 inch seam allowance, pretty much. If there was a specific, let's try that again. If there was a different seam allowance for whatever reason, I'd always tell you. Okay. Let's just get this sorted. But generally speaking, even with putting the cushions together and all of that, it's a 1/4 inch. And sometimes it's I have to say that I would have liked to. I always like to use my overlocker to put cushions together because it's super strong. But I couldn't because of the bobbles. It would have been just too complicated. So I decided just to use my regular stitch, but a small stitch. So because I want to make sure, I'm going to pull this back thread just to make sure that my machine carries on, because I was right at the point of the fabrics. Those points could have easily sunk into my feed dogs. So here we go. Nice and easy, take your time. Little back stitch, not much. This is cotton poplin, so it's not as robust as regular quilting fabric. So there we are. So we've stitched the back together, so that's now all done. Let's just try and open it out for you. Oh, come on. There we go. So that's what that looks like. And of course you can clip into this if you want to. I'm not going to worry too much about that. Hello Paula. Oh, I really like the cushion, do you? Oh good. Hi Janice. Hi Jackie. We said that already. Good evening. What a lovely day. It certainly is. Yes, I am quite pleased with how that turned out. When I first started coming up with the idea, I had no idea what it would look like, and so yes, I was quite pleased with that. Right, so just going to do the overhead now. Let's see if I can zoom in just a wee bit more. So there's my little ears, and literally all I'm going to do is just bring those centres together. Now, to hold those in place, now I used a clip, which I think is not a bad idea, but you could use 2 pins. If I hold it like that, you could put a pin either side of that, okay? I'll see if I can get in a bit more. I'm not going to move that camera, so I'm going to try to be careful. So do you see how that works, the little pleat there? And like I say, you could put a pin through it here and here. So, but I'll use a clip. See how we get on. I must have done that originally, so it must be fine. Anyway, so I'm now going to stay stitch across those ears to hold them in place. Yeah, so we had ice cream, and then eventually Lily turned up. I mean, it wasn't her fault, it was the coach, of course. And so that was lovely. So then she had the biggest suitcase you've ever seen. So then I had to get that in the car, and I already got a load of things in there for work. So that was tricky. I'm making a right, I was going to say pig's ear of this, but it's a mouse's ear. Then we had to go and pick up Jaden, and he said, can we go to the fish shop? And I said, well, I was going to get you fish and chips for your tea. No, he meant, he said the fish shop where they sell fish, live fish, Grandma, because he's got a fish tank. So I said, oh, yes, all right then. I said, what do you want to go there for? Oh, this is causing me problems. I said, what do you want to go there for? So he said, I need fish food. So off we went to get fish food. Let me start again with this. Perhaps if I stopped talking I could do it, but that'd be a bit boring, wouldn't it? So let me just see if I can, if I put my needle in at that first pleat, we'll get it. I wonder how I did it before, because it seemed very easy before. That's it, I think I've got it now. Yes, so then we had to go to the fish shop and literally buy fish food, and they had a look at all the live fish while they were there, which was lovely. And then we went to the actual fish shop for our tea, which was fab. So we had fish and chips for our tea. We don't have that very often. I wanted my pokey tool, really. Yeah, so lots of things we did, and then Mum came home. Mum's on the telly as well, so she'd been doing shows today. So that all went very well. Let me show you what I've done after all this. There we go. Got 2 ears on there. That was painful, wasn't it? It's not normally as difficult as that. I think I'm tired today. I think I've done too much. I've got my air conditioning on, so it's nice and cool in here, which is nice. Right, the next step is to put the head on. I'll just trim my ends. So the head, the curved piece, and it's a different fabric, the curved piece is what you attach to the head, to the body, okay? So I would find the middle, give it a little, find the middle, bend it, fold it and give it a finger press. And I'll just make sure I've got the right side of the fabric. Yep, that's the right side. And then we're just going to stitch those together. I think half the problem here is I'm using polycotton, It's not the same, is it, as quilting cotton. So just bring your head round, and again, whoops, 1/4 inch. I'll keep you on the front. So I'm literally just joining these together, okay? You're not missing anything. And then you're just easing the curve as you go round. That's easy enough. So we'll just do a back stitch just to hold. Keep your needle down if you have got that option. I mean, I just do mine manually. I have got that on the machine, but it doesn't automatically do it for me. So I'm just stitching that around now. I'm just sort of feeding the curve as I go. There we go, not stretching it too much. There we go, and just come round. And it's when you get to that last little bit, if you've got some tweezers, I've got some forceps here for the stuffing, but if you've got ordinary tweezers, which I did have somewhere, just use them to hold the fabric in place, and then you can, obviously you've got to let go at some point, and that'll work better for you. Because you don't want your fingers don't get in and far enough. So there we are, little mousey. So I'll just trim my ends off a little bit. So let me show you. So there we are. There's little mousey. So he's already starting to take shape, isn't he? So now what we have to do is just to put the tail on. Now I was looking for my oh dear, words are escaping me today. I was looking for my piping cord but I couldn't find any, so I found some string. So what I thought I'd do is attach the string to my mouse, just in here, like that. And then when I finished him, I thought I'd undo my knot, because that's just keeping everything together, and then do some plaiting, and just plait him a little tail, or he or she a little tail. So again, I'll just use my clip just to hold that string in place, because he wants to, because I need to stitch that down. So again, just, you've got the middle there, so you know where that's going to go, and you're just literally going to, in fact we'll stay stitch that so it holds. And I'll just bring the machine up. So let's have a look, see what we've got, anything nice to say. Well, you've always got something nice to say. Oh, I've done some travelling this week. Oh, hello Helen. Yes, I have done some travelling this week. How can you tell the difference between polycotton and quilting cotton? Oh my gosh. Look, you know, my best piece of advice now is to actually get the two side by side, because polycotton is very, very, I was going to say thin, but it's very soft and flimsy. Quilting cotton has structure and depth and strength about it, and it's obviously it's 100% cotton, and it's just gorgeous to the touch. With polycotton, obviously you've got the mix of the polyester and the cotton. I don't know what the mix would be, but you can tell it's a lot more flimsy and lightweight. Usually it's quite see-through as well, so if you made clothes from it, you would probably have to line whatever you made, you know, if it's a top or something like that. And I say probably because everything is different, isn't it? There's no rules to these things, but there's a definite difference, and you know, horses for courses, isn't it? Horses for courses. So there's our little tail attached. So we've got his face going on, we've got his little tail, and now all we've got to do is to sew the base on. Now I want to be able to obviously stuff him, so I'm leaving a gap in the side, and I'll stuff him from there and leave a decent sized gap. Even though I know you've got to hand stitch this unless you get the glue on it. But you still want to be able to get the stuffing in, and then of course we'll stitch the face. Okay, we've got to put whiskers on and 2 eyes. So we'll do that, but we just got to do the base now. So I really do suggest. Now on my pattern I used a different base, different fabric, you know, different patterned fabric. So you don't have to. You can use all the same. So let's just. I can't remember if this was. No, this was definitely. Let's do it so it's the right way around. So that's the nose. So all I've done is put my pattern back up and made sure I've got the right end. So I'm just going to squidge that. And if you've got an iron handy, I really would make sure that you have a nice crease there, so you've got something to work with. That's the best thing to say. So I'm popping my nose against the nose of my base, and this is where I am going to use pins. And you know I'm not a fan, but sometimes, oh gosh, these are all bent. It needs must. And you're just going to take your time with this because you're going round curves. And I would put the seam of the head going towards the body, especially if you're using Polycon, because you'll see it if on the face. You don't want that. So again, I've creased where the tail is, and I'm just going to make sure that that marries up there as well. And if you take your time over this, it's really worth it. Oh, have I got this the wrong way around? Gosh, I am a fool. Told you I was tired. But, I mean, the train trip yesterday, it's always lovely, but it is tiring. And I think the older you get, the more tired you get. And although, you know, I'm treated well, and we went to the boss's house, which is just lovely, and we did some filming, and yeah, it's lovely day. But it, like I say, it does take it out of you. Not as young as I was. Right, so look, I've pinned most of that body in place. Let me show you on the overhead, just so you can see. So look, I've put the key points in, so the nose and the tail, and then just put a couple of bits in the side, just to sort of hold all that together so you can see. That's what we've done. And right sides together. I'd have been fed up if I'd done that, and it was because I had it the wrong way around. I bet you were shouting at me. Anyway, don't forget to leave a gap. So I shall start here, and I'll start here, and I'll go all the way around and finish just the other side of the tail, okay? And we'll stitch that up. Oh, there's my black thread from my whiskers. Yeah, so that was lovely. Are you going to hand stitch this? Yes. I actually, I would say that's a really good idea, Helen, because it's only a little thing. I mean, the actual original one that I made was a lot smaller. Really, I was going to say half as small, but it wasn't as small as that. But it was small, so I have enlarged it just a little bit. But yes, it's a great hand stitching project. Really is, really is. So a little back stitch there, just so you've got a bit of strength, and then go around. Now it's up to you whether you have the body that you're stitching with the body on top, or whether you have the base on top. It matters not. So when you get to the nose, on the actual body, let's say, it's a bit more pointy than the base. So it's up to you whether you make a definite point there, which I'm going to try and do, or you just round it. It matters not, because you're going to put the whiskers in, and the whiskers will draw that nose in anyway. It gives it a little sort of, it pinches it, so it does that anyway. And it is a little bit fiddly, and if you have, I mean, I haven't got the 1/4 inch foot on here, but a zipper foot is good if you're trying to do little tiny projects, and you only, you know, you've got to be careful with it's almost a visual, isn't it? It's that you can see what you're doing, and of course with the zipper foot you would be able to see much better. And just because it's a zipper foot doesn't mean to say it's out of bounds for regular stitching, because obviously if it fits, if you like, you know, if it fits what the task you're doing, then it's fine. So there we are. We're coming round now to, I'm just easing that around. Just put my needle in so I can swivel that a little bit, and that just beyond the tail, little back stitch, and that's done. So I'm going to put the machine down now, because we don't need it anymore. So there we are. So that's the mouse actually made. Well, how long did that take? And I really did take my time. Half an hour. And I really did take my time, because there's no rush. There's nothing I need to rush off for, unless there's a glass of wine going somewhere. So So you can clip all around that if you want to, but it is only a little pin cushion, so I don't think that's crucial. Let's hope we haven't stitched the tail into one of the seams. No, we're all right. So then it's just a case of he's quite cute, isn't he? Don't know why this mouse is a he. Sort of ease out your body and your nose and your all the seams. You don't need to press it. You know, normally I'd say press, 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 but we're going to stuff it, and that's going to do the job of padding it out. So there we are. Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. He's already looking quite sweet, isn't he? So look, I've got some stuff in here. I've also got some beads as well. It says for craft and doll making. I've had this quite some time. You can probably still get it. It's made in the USA. It's pellets, so I suspect it's plastic pellets. Doesn't actually say, but that's the one that I use. So I thought I'd put a little bit in there just to add a little bit of weight to it. And I don't know whether you use forceps or not. These are little for. Did you see the forceps I ordered? And I ordered ones for lizards. I didn't know that, honestly. Or would I? I wonder where they are. They might be up on one of my shelves somewhere. But they're about this long, and really you only need. I mean, these are sort of small, so medium ones are quite good. But the ones that I got for lizards were about that big. Well, you would, wouldn't you? And I just use them to get hold of the stuffing. Look, you don't really need it with the mouse, but you get hold of it and then use it to poke into the hole. And if you're making soft toys, then it's great for really using the forceps to hold the stuffing and really shove it in. Like I say, you don't necessarily need them for this sort of project. We'll just do it as much as we can and then see how we get on. So yeah, so it's a nice little project. I hope you're liking the patterns that, I think most of you have seen the patterns that are coming up on Sunday/Monday. See what you say when they're up, and then we'll start to do our Thursday Facebook Lives again. Get back into the routine. That was funny going on holiday, wasn't it? It really threw us all out. Oh dear. It was a nice break though, it really was. So this is where, look, you can, what you do is, oops, if you don't lock your forceps, is you put them in open, grab the stuffing as you go in, and then you're pushing that out. So you're using the stuffing as a pokey tool, if you like. So you'll never go through the fabric. If we were to use a knitting needle or something like that, you've got more likely to go through the fabric, but you can't with these. I mean, if you use that technique of have them open as you go in, and then close them onto the wadding, and then use the wadding as your stuffer. Oh look! When I say he, that is definitely a little she mouse, isn't it? Because of the colours. She's really quite sweet. I'll say I've changed now to a she. She was never a boy, was she? What was I thinking? I don't mind it that she would have been a boy, but it's the colours, isn't it? So look, I've done as much as I want to do with the stuffing, and she's just going to sit nicely there. Don't know if you can see her. Let me make sure you can see her. I'll bring her right back in. But I wanted to see if I could get some pellets in there. Let's see how we get on. I don't know how I'm going to do this. It's only a little hole, but I want to put a little bit of weight there. So we'll see. What I could do with is a little funnel. So let's just shake that down. I need something to just lean her up on here. That's it. Can you see okay? And then we'll just push those in. It's not necessary to go on the bottom of the mouse. It's just like I say, just to add a wee bit of weight. So let's open up the hole again. You do need a little funnel, I feel. I should invest in a funnel. But they're going in. They're going in. So, has anybody got anything planned for the weekend? What are you doing? What are you up to? Going anywhere nice? Oh, hello, Ange. Angela is on the Facebook Live, and Angela is my sister. She's a little bit older than me, not much. A little bit older. She's my best friend. She's my only friend. No, she's my best friend. We do lots of things together. Well, we try to. Often or not, if I've got a plan, she's got a different plan. Or if she's got a plan, I've got a different plan. So sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But we do try our very best to get together. Whether it's lunch or go to the pictures or, you know, it's really nice. So there we are. I think I've done as much as I want to do. The beads are going to find their own level as time goes on, as you use it, and put the pins in and move her around. There we go. So now what I want to do is just stitch that opening closed. So I'm just trying to make sure that you can see me. I might move my table back. I don't think anything's going to fall. Well, that hasn't made any difference, has it? Let's do that. A little bit. It's a little bit. That's as much as I dare do. So I've got some bits and bobs in here, so let's get rid of that. So, oh. More haste. There we go. I've got most of them back in. So we'll just get some thread. So this is where you could do like a ladder stitch or something like that. It's whatever you're comfortable with. It doesn't have to be, it's not going to be exhibited in some sort of posh exhibition. So you can do whatever you want to do to close the hole. Or like I said before, you might want to glue it. So I generally don't do knots. So all I'm going to do is just a little back stitch just to lock that thread in place. I'll go on the overhead in just a second. Let me just get this thread sorted out. And then I'll just cut that little tail off there. Not his big tail, just a little tail. That's it. There we go. Okay. So literally, let's just get that out of the way. Oh, right. Okay, let's just move this out of the way. How I'm going to get on at this angle, I really don't know. Let's see how we get on. So there's my opening there, and my thread is already caught. Do you see? So you're just going to fold those edges over about 1/4 inch. And it's just a case of taking your time, because you're working on two curves that are going to go opposite to each other. So if you wanted to beforehand, you could give it a little press, or you can just you know, feel your way around it, do the best you can. But just finish that little bit off there. There we go. And a little cut. There we go. So with the beads in there, the beads will probably find their way down to the bottom of the mouse over time. So that will give it, and it's a little bit weightier than it was before. So there we are, not too bad. So with his whiskers, or her whiskers, is that the thread I was going to use? I think it is. Yeah, it's got wrapped around the pins. There we go. So I've got 6 strands of embroidery thread here. I'm going to see if I can get them on my needle. If not, I'll revert to perhaps 4, but that's quite thick. I'll see how I go. And then we're just going to use the embroidery thread as whiskers. I'm going to split this up. So we're down to, that's 2. So I'm just taking those off. And we'll do the whiskers, then we'll do the eyes, and then we'll be done. So, not too bad at all, because I've slowed up a little bit. So, it'll probably end up being an hour now. Too long, really. Right, so I've got my 4 strands on there now. I didn't think 6 would work. So what we need to do is put this through, but we need to make sure it's secure. So I'm just poking his nose out a little bit. So I'm gonna do this on the overhead so you can see. Let's have a look. Here we go. Let's move all this out of the way. So what I've done is I've put the needle, as you can see, through his nose. So, and you could, if you wanted to, put a little bit of glue on the thread as you take it through. So obviously we've got one side done. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a little stitch here, right next to where the whisk comes out, and out the other side. I'm going to hold on to that thread there, and then I'm going to go in again, and again I haven't, you see, I haven't lost those ends there. And then again, I'm just going to do that again, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to lose that. So, and this is where when I do the next one, I'm going to pull it a little tighter. There we go. And now pull it tighter. And that'll stay like that now. So I'm just going to, it looks like he's a bit cross even though I haven't done his eyes. So I'm just going to cut that. And then you can open those out. So he's got whiskers. They probably need to be a bit shorter, don't they? Let's do it like that. Yeah, I think that's okay. And then just spend a minute or two just opening up the threads. Like that. Okay, so it's a similar sort of thing for the eyes. So, I'm not going to put a knot in, I nearly did then, but I'm just going to bring the thread in from the side here, and I'm going to bring it up, I'd say about there, wouldn't you? There. Just take it there. So I'm just going to pull that through, just so you can hardly see it. Can you see? Give it a little tug and it's gone. So now we want to do a French knot. So we've got our threads. So this is my needle in here, thread in there. So I'm just going to wrap this around 3 times, and I'm going to go back in. Hold it tight. That's a bit loopy. Let me do that again. 1, 2, 3. Oh, pulled his tail out. I didn't want to do that. Do that again. So you could put a little bit of glue on the end of that. So as that goes in, you could put a little dab of glue on there and just pull it through. I've just done it so I can see it. So again, all you're going to do is your 3 loops around, needle back in, and then I'm going to come up the other side. I'm hoping I'm about the same. I think that's the same. So I'm just going to pull my needle now. Okay. So that's one eye done. So now we've got to do the other eye. So 1, 2, 3. push it down where, almost where you came out before. Let me see. And then I'm just going to take it out to the side again. So again, just make sure my threads are out of the way. And pull it through. Let's see. Come on. Wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? Come on. Got stuck on there somewhere. Doesn't want to play, does it, today? It's one of those days, isn't it? It's one of those days. Let's pull that out. There we go. Come on. Perhaps I've got too long a thread. Let's try that again. It's got itself in a bit of a knot here, do you see? That's because of the loops. See if I can do that without... I don't really want to cut this off. Oh my lord. Come on. It's a bit boring, isn't it, watch me try to do that. Let me just see if I can do it without... and then at least we've got the front view, which is a little bit more interesting. See if we can get the knot out. I didn't really want to cut it, but it looks like I might have to. I'm going to cut it. So this is where, if you'd done the glue, you see, everything would be safe. And to be honest, that knot's not going to come out anyway, because it's only a pin cushion and it's not like a toy, so it doesn't need to have the same strength as if it was going to be played with. But normally what I do is come in from one side, do the French knot, go across to the other eye, and then take it out the side seam again. So that's fine. No bother. So we'll come in from the side and up to that little space that we'd already made. And again, I'm not going to pull that too much. I can always snip it. So wrap it round like I did before. 1, 2, 3. And this time I'll hold on to my threads because it does make a difference. And just pull. You can't see what I'm doing, but I showed you before. Let me just put it on the overhead here. So I held onto the thread and now I'm just going to pull it through and it should be fine, which it is. Look. There we go. So that's the cute little face. Mildred. Do you think Mildred the mouse? Oh dear. There we are. She's not too bad, is she? Yeah. Nice. Squidgy nose. You could perhaps put some blusher on her cheeks or something. Nice little ears. But she's a great little pin cushion. So there we are. I've got plastic beads falling all over the floor. So there we go. So now you can use your mouse as a little pin cushion. And it would make a nice little gift, wouldn't it? To make for fundraising. Because I think you could, I don't know, how much would you charge? £3 or £4 maybe? And you could make loads of these. There we go. Well, some of my pins are really sharp. And you can tell. There we go. So, what have we learnt? We've learnt to make sure that you've got the base and the sides and the body of the mouse all pinned, and make sure that it fits nicely. It will. It just needs to be eased into place. We need to just plait that little tail later. I think I quite like it as it is actually. And stay stitch all of these pieces in. So stay stitch your ears in, stay stitch the tail in place, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. and just do that technique with the whiskers. They'll always stay. If you just did in and out, which is fine, I would put again a little bit of glue on the threads as you pull through, a little bit of glue, and as it pulls through, of course, then it will stick and stay in place. Little French knots for the eyes, and that's all made. So there we are. So let's see if anybody has anything to say. Oh, Patricia, you've been crafting with you. So have you been stitching the little mousey? Because she's quite cute, isn't she? I love her little face. She's very cute. Because you know you put the eyes fairly close together and they look cute. If you put it further apart, she'd have looked a little bit sort of spaced out, wouldn't she? There we go. So, oh, thanks, Janet. Thanks for a fab demo. Well, we work and learn together, don't we? Oh, it's your son's 50th birthday today, and you're getting a get together tomorrow. That's Maggie. So yeah, I hope the weather stays nice. It's going to be really hot here, about 30 degrees, I think. Jackie says she's got to cut the grass before the rain comes tomorrow. It's raining at you where you are tomorrow? Your niece is 21 on Wednesday and you've got nothing for her so far. Well, make the canary bag because that's such a good gift to make. Going to Stamford on Sunday for your uncle's 80th birthday, Kirsty. And you've got to make a card tomorrow. And Stamford's such a wonderful place. Oh, hi Sheila. And helping your daughter out together with a rabbit hutch. Out. I think you'll either make it. Oh, Abigail's on there as well. So that's lovely. So thank you ever so much for joining me today. We've done the hour, and I had no intentions of doing the hour, but it's a nice little make. It's the last one. So please, if you haven't already, download the patterns because they'll go into the shop on Monday, and then they'll be £2.50 each. And so get those downloaded, get them stored safely on a USB or on your computer, and that way you'll always have them there. Julie says, thanks Lizzie, a lovely mousey. Yeah, she's cute, isn't she? So thank you ever so much for joining me again, and next week it's business as usual. It'll be Thursday. I can't think anything else is happening Thursday that will stop us from doing our Facebook Live. And let me know which one of the new projects that you want making up. We've got the Sophia bag, which if you saw me last week, you'll have seen that. Was it Monday? I can't remember. We've got the pillow, we've got the cushion with the bubbles, we've got what was the third one? Oh, it's the two pocket pouch, and I've called it Danny the two pocket pouch. I wanted to, it reminded me, because it was a pouch, of a kangaroo, and I was going to call it Roo, and then I thought no, but then I thought of Danny LaRue, so I thought, right, we'll call it Danny the two pocket pouch. So we've got that to make up as well. So let me know which one you want making up first, and that's what I'll do next Thursday with you guys. So have a lovely rest of your evening. I'm going to go and chill out, put my feet up, and enjoy the cool evening air, and I'll see you all again